Bitcoin is trading sideways for the last few weeks. Are you just sitting on your stable coins? So why not put them to work and earn yield? So in this video, I'll be talking about how to make money even during a crypto sideways market. Alright, welcome back to another video. If you're new to this channel, I mainly cover investing topics, stocks, crypto, and forex. And I'm just a fellow investor, just sharing knowledge I have about the financial markets. So if you haven't already, please help to serenade the like button and drop a comment for the algo. Alright, so basically, this is the main preview of what I'll be covering. So mainly 6 points. So first point is, why do I want to meddle in DeFi and earn on my stables? So currently is the Bitcoin has been trading sideways. So I guess most of you are just holding your stables, right? So why not just earn you on your stables? Okay. So moving on to my second point, I'll be talking about the concept of borrowing and lending. Mainly on the example on AAVE protocol. Okay. Third point is, what is yield farming exactly? And what is impermanent loss when providing liquidity? Fifth point is, why am I getting started with DeFi and using the Polygon Network? And lastly, I will just suggest which DeFi platforms are the safest and which one is the safest for beginners to use. All right. All right. So first point, why am I meddling in DeFi space? Okay. So firstly, DeFi, what does it stand for? It stands for decentralized finance. Yep. So basically, these platforms execute financial transactions through applications, like for example, AAVE. Okay, so it doesn't go through any third party or any financial intermediary. In our real life, it's basically, for example, the bank. But in DeFi, it will be through smart contracts and codes. So, how do actually banks work? Right? So this is just a simple schematic of how it works. So for people like us, all right, people like us, we will put our hard-earned money into the bank, right, as savings. And what do we get in return? Interest. Yes, interest. But how much interest do we even get from the banks? It's definitely less than 0.5% or even less, correct? So less than 0.5%. And what do the banks use our money for? Basically, they use it to loan to bigger investors, all right? And the interest gets paid to them at a way higher amount than what they have loaned out. So banks earn a lot of money from our savings, but they only give us back very little amounts of interest. So why do we still want this, right? So we want to move to DeFi, or I actually would want to move to DeFi platforms. And these platforms pay a very good amount in yield, can go up to just 5 to 10% on our stable coins. Yes, that's crazy, right? All right. Okay, so moving on to my next point. What is yield farming? So basically, yield farming is generating high yield with your crypto assets. Okay, and we get paid to use these DeFi apps to bootstrap our growth. Okay, so just a general explanation of impermanent loss when providing liquidity, which I'll be going through later in the Sushi protocol. All right. Okay, so mainly what it means is the opportunity cost of LPing two assets into a liquidity pool instead of just simply holding them. And a liquidity pool contains a 50-50 ratio of two assets. So the safest pools are mainly consisting of stable coins. All right. Okay, so just simply put, okay, simple explanation. When one of these assets has a drastic change in price, impermanent loss will be experienced. So moving on to my next point, why I want to use Polygon Network versus other networks compared to Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain, all right? Okay, firstly, the gas fees are insanely cheap, all right? It's about 1/100 of a penny. That's way cheaper than Ethereum platform. Polygon is a layer 2 on top of Ethereum. So it's complementary, and the fact that it's decentralized. Yes, decentralized. So compared to BSC, BSC is centralized and is a product of a Binance centralized exchange. So I would prefer using Polygon Network. All right, moving on to my last point. So what are the safest DeFi apps, all right, to start using with? Mainly the blue chips are AAVE, Sushi, and Curve. These are the ones that I would recommend for beginners. We will usually use QuickSwap when swapping coins. Generally, we'll use this only when we are yield farming on riskier apps, which I won't be covering in this video. The very first beginner move, right, is to learn how to use AAVE. How do we use it? We deposit into AAVE to earn yield. This, for example, right? We borrow more assets against our deposits, and we use these borrowed assets to yield even more. So basically, we are earning yield on yield on yield. That's why yield farming is so powerful. Okay, so this is the AAVE platform. Firstly, you just need to connect to the Polygon network first, because that's what I'll be covering today. As you can see here, these are all the assets that you can deposit into AAVE. These are the deposit APYs and the borrowed APY. So I'll explain further. Okay, let's say we deposited USDC. So what we have here is 1.78 APY, which we will be earning, okay, when we deposit USDC, and an extra 1.82% of Matic. Essentially, you're being paid right when you just deposit. Because Matic actually partner with AAVE liquidity mining pool program, for a year. So that's why you are being paid in Matic as well. When with these assets, you can actually borrow more assets. So let's say you deposited USDC. You can actually borrow more USDC and then put back into the same deposit to earn even more yield, okay? Which I'll be covering in the future videos. But right now, let's just explain this, okay? So right now, for USDC, if you borrow, you have to pay 2.96% of interest. But essentially, you're being paid back 2.72% of Matic. So basically, you only have about like 0.24% that you need to pay if you want to pay your loan back. So this is the power of borrowing and also depositing it back into AAVE protocol. So typically Sushi, when you first enter, you'll be like this, right? First thing again, always connect to the Polygon network. Next, we'll go to yield, right? We would go and choose the stable currency pool. So this is what I meant by adding to the liquidity pool. Okay, for this example, I'll be using USDC and DAI, which are the two assets that will be depositing. So what you actually need to do is basically go to the add liquidity portion. And once you add liquidity, you have to add 50-50 of your assets. So basically, let's say you have $100 of USDC, you have to put in another $100 of DAI. So 50-50, right? And with that, once you add that liquidity, you can stake it into this pool, which will be earning you 17.15%. All right, that's pretty insane, right? So remember what I mentioned about impermanent loss? So when you provide liquidity, the safest way is to provide liquidity using two stable currencies, which is USDC or DAI. That's just one example. These are the safest because you only experience impermanent loss if one asset fluctuates crazily, all right? But these two are stable currencies. Therefore, they are pegged to the dollar. So usually, they wouldn't lose their peg. And so it's pretty safe and you won't experience impermanent loss. I'll be covering this in another video, right? More in depth. Okay, the last one is Curve protocol. Same thing, we connect to the Polygon network first. And basically, we only have two pools here, but mainly most people would choose the first pool. So it's same thing, you're just providing liquidity as well. But in the sense where you can earn 3.57% base APY and an extra 17.54% in Matic. So that's crazy. That's the amount of yield you can earn on your stable currencies. You just need to deposit DAI, USDC, or USDT. Crazy, right? Alright, that's it from me. If you like this video, please hit the like button if you haven't already and subscribe if you want contents like this. In the next video, I'll be covering an in-depth tutorial on how to use these apps step by step. So stay tuned. And if you want to earn interest on your crypto, you can use Blockfi as well and receive up to $250. Link is in the description below. And as always, invest safe and smart. The markets are always here, but your capital may not. Peace.